Welcome back to the Through the Lane podcast. Not feeling that great, so it will be a shorter episode. We're really going to cover two things in sports. As Something's going on, but NFL's been kind of quiet and basketball's been kind of quiet. We'll talk about the NBA Cup towards the end of the episode. But starting out, we're going to start off with a wild MLB week. First off, Juan Soto. Just going to start off with him. Massive contract. It's 15 years, $765 million. They can get up and due to incentives, and if they void his opt-out after 5 years, it adds more money on his deal. It can go north of $800 million, which is crazy. He actually took a year less and $5 million more from the Mets than he did the Yankees. Apparently, over the year, the Yankees weren't very kind to his family, and he didn't appreciate that. So what does he do? He leaves. He just kind of leaves them high and dry, and rightfully so. But the amount of money he made is crazy. It's mainly because he's so young. He's like 25, 26. It's not. He's like guys usually rarely are never. Usually guys are just not hitting arbitration at his age, not becoming a full free agent. So it was kind of crazy to see that. I mean, this is a huge deal. The Mets still need to figure out first base. They still need to figure out second base, and center field too, as well as the rotation. The Severino signed with the Athletics. It doesn't look like Sean Manaea is going to sign with them. So they've got to figure out the whole rotation again. They've lost a few pitchers. They've got to redo the rotation and bit of the bullpen. But outside of that, the lineup looks solid. You put him behind Lindor. You have Mark Vientos hit, along with, what are their corner outfielders? They have Kodai Senga, who can be their ace, and Clay Holmes. Also as well, they did sign Clay Holmes, and he was a closer of the Yankees. I know they got two former Yankees, but they're stretching him out as a starter. He has not started since his rookie year, and he was bad. So I don't really understand the whole point of that. Maybe because they just need pitching. Right now, this rotation, it's Kodai Senga, David Peterson, Frankie Montas, Clay Holmes, Paul Blackburn. They need another arm. Paul Blackburn and Frankie Montas aren't going to do it. And Clay Holmes, I mean, he can't start the whole year. So, again, you need... And the bullpen could use another two guys. Also, they have Tyler McGill, who again, they can stretch back out. He started the year off as a starter, and then they put him in the bullpen. He was pretty good as a starter, but... yeah, they need about two more guys in the bullpen. Looking at it, I mean, Acuna could play second base. Nemo's in left field. Jose Siri center. Right field is Soto. So, I mean, yeah, it's a solid team. But, again, the East is very difficult. You guys see what the Braves and the Phillies are going to do. They still need another pitcher. And I think they should go out and get a second baseman, or third baseman. Sorry. And then you put Mark Vientos at first base. Have someone play third. Acuna plays second. Acuna played really well to start the year, but has an insane deal. And what the Yankees did, and it was sad for me to see after that, was they signed Max Fried to an 8-year, $218 million deal. And he's like in his 30s. So that's a risky deal. Because he's had Tommy Johns, he's had some more. He'll be 38 by the time this deal is done, which is kind of concerning that he'll be that old. But at the same time, he's been playing lights out. I mean, he has a career average of a 3 ERA. He's thrown 6 complete games, 4 complete shutouts, Pitched almost 900 innings. He's amazing. He's a Cy Young candidate, All-Star. I love Max Fried as he was a Brave. It's a shame to see him go because he was fantastic. He was wonderful. And it's sad to see him go, and we'll talk about the Braves over the winter break. But he got his bag. 8 years, 218, a lot of money. They've now, the Yankees rotation is now cracked. Because you go Garrett Cole, Rodon, Lewis Gill, Clark Schmidt, Nestor Cortez. Yeah, okay. So this rotation really makes no sense. Without Max Fried, you have Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Cy Young candidates. I think Carlos Rodon won the Cy Young. Luis Gill, Clark Schmidt, Nestor Cortez, Marcus Stroman. There's 6. Max Fried. So, 2 of these guys got to go to the bullpen. Either you get rid of Marcus Stroman. I don't understand that move. You add on to strength. You didn't really need rotation help, right? You needed offensive help. And yes, you have Jason Dominguez, and yes, he's going to do good. Yes, he's going to be a great outfielder for you, but you now need a left fielder. And they haven't yet acquired one. I don't know who they go out. But now, to the Major League Baseball trades, and a big one broke yesterday. Yesterday was some big news. Garrett Crochet, the ace of the White Sox, I talked about him in the podcast before, is traded to the Red Sox. And the White Sox got a haul, but I'm kind of confused with some part of the haul by both teams, right? So I see why the Red Sox did it. They need a clear ace, a young, controllable guy that they can extend. And I think they got him. That makes them dangerous, right? But they had this young coming catcher who looks like he's going to be a stud, named Kyle Till. He just finished his first pro year. He's already up in AAA. He was going to debut this upcoming season, right? And their catcher's like 29. So they could use a young catcher, right? What do? You trade Kyle Till, who is ripping up the minors, who's filling a place in need, to the White Sox, who've already acquired 2 to 3 young catchers. Okay, they just had the kid from the Astros they acquired. And then they acquired the prospect from the Angels, who I like. Kid can hit. No, he struggled as of late, but Corey Lee. So, what is the whole point of this? I don't understand. They do get Benny Montgomery, and they need outfield help, so that's fantastic. And then they acquire Wilkman Gonzalez, another starting pitcher. They need that, and then Chase Meldroth. Outside of Kyle Till, I love it for both sides. I'd have given up the kid. He broke out this year, and he can play all over the diamond. He's a great prospect. He plays pretty much everywhere but first base, and Kristen Coleman could have gotten rid of him, and you kept Kyle Till or Miguel Bless, but you still give up Kyle Till. And now they've got to figure out the catching market, who they're going to go after, who's going to fill that spot up, who's going to kind of just replace it, right? It makes no real sense with the construction of the roster. I just don't really understand it to begin with, but great deal, though. Someone needed to bring him out of there, and they did. Next up, Jake Berger got traded to the Rangers. Again, don't understand that move. But the Mariners, I like what they did. You full on fire sale. But the Mariners, not the Mariners, The Rangers, you already have your third baseman of the future in and Young. Keep forgetting it's Jay Young's his little brother. But he can hit. He's an all-star. He's a little bit injury prone, but still, he's a better player than Jake Berger. Then you have Nathan Lowe, your first baseman, another all-star. Hits high 270, 300 average. Again, great player. They had great durability. So where does Berger go? Is he going to be your DH? What are you going to do with Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter and Garcia? And Seager. Where are you going to... It kind of keeps your flexibility that made their lineup so good last year was their flexibility. And now, just bringing a bigger bat. He may be a bench bat. He's listed as a DH. It just made no sense. Right? Then the other big trade was, and I don't really understand this one yet, Andre Jimenez and Nick Sandlin traded to the Toronto Blue Jays for Spencer Howitz and Nick Mitchell, and then Spencer Howitz got traded to Pittsburgh for Josh Hartle, Michael Kennedy, and Luis Ortiz, which they got a bigger haul for Spencer Howitz than they did for Andres Jimenez and Nick Sandlin. Nick Sandlin's a really good reliever. Andres Jimenez is a Platinum Glove Award winner. He's one of the best defensive players in the league, and he has high all-star upside offensively. I don't know why they got rid of him. It's because they got Travis Bazzano. But Travis Bazzano isn't going to be ready yet. Unless they plan on giving him, time to play. I just didn't like that move. Wasn't a big fan of it. For the Blue Jays, I love it. Second base has been a rotating door. You have not figured out second base, right? So you put a Platinum Glove winner there beside Bo Bichette, Vladdy, and then you figure out third base, right? Great, and then you pretty much, the only hole as the Blue Jays are is third base, because Santiago Espinal did second base for a year or two, and then he went down. And then before that was Kevin Biggio, and then he sucked. Now you got, at least he's a Golden Glove. He's 26, award winner, and you can kind of build around him. If they do a fire sale, you leave him behind, trade Bo Bichette and Vladdy, and then, just build around Jimenez. But he fills that hole. Now all you got is third base. But for the Guardians, you still got another year or two, and you just made the ALCS. Why are you blowing up the middle of the field? Because we know Josh Naylor is probably going to get moved because they don't really like extending people past arbitration. So to get something for that value, they trade them. To get prospects, and then they bring them up. Is this process, it's really cool to watch from an analytical side and just building perspective, but it's difficult, and it's very calculated. So I don't know where they're going to go with that. It'd be very interesting to see what the Guardians do, because personally, I just don't like the moves for them. I love it for the Blue Jays. 100% hands down, A+ for the Blue Jays. B-, C+ for the Guardians, because they needed to get off that contract. Since he got extended, his offensive production is cratered. He went from being top of the lineup to the bottom of the lineup guy you to expect just wrote out. And it was like, no, it's dogfight, whatever. Nope, out. You got 8 guys you got to battle against, not 9. And so, it was just, I don't know. But it was an eventful week. Juan Soto, Max Fried, the 3 trades. Very big week. And then, we're going to jump to college football. Bill Belichick has signed with UNC. I don't think I covered this last episode, because this went fast. I mean, this was like, he met Thursday afternoon last week, and it just picked up. He signed 5 years, I think $50 million. It's a lot, big deal. He's getting introduced to the presser today. He gave him a 400-page organizational Bible, and Michael Lombardi is following him there as the team's GM. So that's huge. And the organizational Bible was pretty much how he expected things to be run, what he's going to do, what positions he wants to be made and filled. One of those was the GM position, NIL stuff, and he gave them 24 hours, and they accepted it. And so he's their new head coach. It's going to be interesting, man. This can go either two ways. He's going to light it on fire, and he's going to bring in a lot of recruits, a lot of transfers, and he's going to pump out some great teams, or he's just nobody's gonna want to play for him. He's gonna be archaic in a little bit. It's just not gonna work. But I think it's gonna be the former. I think he's gonna do great because it's freaking Bill Belichick. He's putting an NFL-ready system in a college team to build guys, these kids and the men who can go in the NFL and succeed. And it's pretty much a guaranteed way to the NFL. Because Bill Belichick, he found diamonds in the rough. He knew how to make all right players great players. Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, the defensive side. He found so many guys in the later rounds that it turned into dudes. If I'm a defensive guy, I want to go over there. I want to play for and learn his defensive mind. I love the move for UNC. Apparently, the rumors are that they got $20 million in NIL money to spend. Who knows if that's true or not? He apparently already offered a kid a scholarship through the transfer portal. It's also rumored to believe that once he goes back to the NFL, because this is only for him to stay in coaching, so he can go to the NFL. His son Steve will take over the team, and that was part of the organizational Bible. And what he wanted in his contract was his son was going to be the quarterback in waiting, which is okay in kind of nepotism, but nothing's as bad as the NBA. But yeah, now, moving forward. College football playoffs. The rankings have been set, right? ASU played a great game over the weekend. Cam Scatterboom, top 2 quarterback in the country, a running back. He may be a first-round pick. My mock draft, which is going to come out tomorrow, I think. So I finished the first round. I'm working on the second round myself, but the first round's released. The first round's done. I have him, I'll just say right now, going 34th to the Raiders, which would pair him up with Shedeur Sanders. And I love that move. I think it's great that you pair Shedeur with Scatterboom because they need a running back and a quarterback. Moving forward, Scatterboom can catch the ball in the backfield and run guys over. I think he's more versatile than Ashton Jeanty. And he doesn't have the wear and tear that Jeanty has. So it'll be interesting to see. I have Ashton Jeanty, looking at this right now, going 12 to Dallas. My biggest riser out of a lot of people is 23. And it's Shahad Campbell, Alabama linebacker, going to Seattle. They needed linebacker help. They've been cutting linebackers, moving guys around. Shahad Campbell, great linebacker. Physical, smart, intelligent, fits that system really well. I like it, and I put him going 23rd. The biggest drop for me would be Tyler Williams. I have him slipping out of the first. I just don't like it. I just don't like it that much. And Luther Burden, I have him falling to 20. Most of the top teams don't need a receiver. And I think the Commanders go out, they get Luther Burden. Now, what could happen is he starts falling to like the Cardinals and whatnot, and they take him, right? I have McMillan falling to 8 to the Browns. But you pair Judy, McMillan, Cedric Tillman, and Elijah Moore, and then I have them taking Carson Beck in the second round. That's a good duo right there. I have a lot of quarterbacks going off in the second round. And I'll release my positional rankings with the draft soon. To kind of shed some light on the way I view everything. And then there's a project that's going to come out towards New Year's that will be bigger. That me and someone I partnered with we're working on right now. But yeah, this is my NFL mock draft 1.0. I'll release it. It might be on the podcast. Might not be. Who knows? But back to the college football playoffs, right? Cam Scatterboom, ASU played a great game. They're scary. I mean, they beat the dog crap out of Iowa State. They scare me. Because Sam Levitt can throw the ball really well, and Cam Scatterboom is a problem. Oregon played a great game against Penn State. I am proud of Penn State. They won. Oregon, I think, is the best team in the country. Boise State had a great game against UNLV. They get a bye. And whatever you want to do, hating the system, the buys, whatever, I like the parity. I like that it adds some teams in that you don't always see. I think it's nice. Now, should Clemson get the first round bye? Yes. Over Boise State? 100%. And Clemson beat SMU in a wild game. SMU down like 21 points. Drives back, comes up, makes a comeback. The game is tied. You literally, like 13 seconds left. Kickoff. They run the ball 40 yards down the field. I think they do an out pass. They do have a 40-yard kick return. I think they do like an out pass. Get field goal range. Kick a 50-something yard field goal. Clemson wins the game. Cinema. We haven't even got to the SEC championship game yet, where this was really the only championship game outside of ASU versus Iowa State, which ASU, I mean, again, scary. Scatterboom and Sam Levitt are really good. A great duo. Sam Levitt in next year's draft should be someone that we all look at as a potential sneak up. As a guy who can potentially put his name in the first round. I like what he can do, personally. But Georgia, Carson Beck may have torn his UCL out for the rest of the postseason, it looks like. Gunnar Stockton comes in, leads them on a touchdown drive, and then it's a dogfight. It is a dogfight, right? Very physical battle between teams, between them and Texas. Georgia comes out and wins in OT, another overtime game, 22-19. They almost threw the game away, too. Texas missed it late in that fourth quarter. So, Ewers throws a pick. Then Gunnar Stockton throws a pick. It's his first time he's ever played real football against an SEC team, so I don't blame him. He gives me Stetson Bennett vibes. And the good thing is they got that first round bye, so now they can kind of build an offense around him to work around, right? But he throws a pick. They start driving back down the field, and I mean, they're like on our 8th. And they're about to score. They missed 3 straight passes. They kick a field goal. They take in overtime. They could have won the game there. But they didn't. They missed opportunities. They played very sloppy. Dalen Everett had 2 more picks. Quinn Ewers struggled. And I can't get a read on him. Really, I can't figure him out yet. I can tell this team is definitely better with Archie Manning because Manning can run and he can throw the deep ball. Ewers has kind of struggled throwing the deep ball this year, and it's been kind of sad. But matchups we have this year: Ohio State is hosting Tennessee, Texas is hosting Clemson, Penn State is hosting SMU, Notre Dame is hosting Indiana. Outside of Penn State and SMU, all these are great games. My most favorite game is Ohio State Tennessee because you don't know what you're going to see. All right, you expect Ohio State to win. I hope they win because if you lose at home, if I'm Ryan Day, your job's cooked, buddy. You better just clean house. But we don't know what version of Nico we're going to see, what version of this offense. They're going to have time to scheme against you. Josh Heupel's a good offensive coordinator as a head coach. But Deion Sampson, he's now got time to rest up. I think Ohio State struggles against physical football. And so it may be an issue. But also, can Tennessee's offense get anything going against this great Ohio State defense? Who knows? It's going to be the battle of the quarterbacks. If Will Howard sucks like he did against Michigan, they're going to lose. He's got to play up like he did against Indiana. If Nico plays like he did against Georgia, they're going to lose. They need Vanderbilt, Nico. They need Alabama, Nico. But even Alabama, Nico was not that good. Texas, Clemson, again, no one can figure out Texas because they're 2 ranked games they've lost. So, really, you don't know really who they are against quality opponents. So, you've got to look at this match with Clemson and see what you're going to get from them, right? You just don't know. Clemson has gotten progressively better as the season wore on because they got the dog crap kicked out of them by Georgia in week 1, and they've gotten better. Cade Klubnik is a dog. Watch him to be in the first round potentially next year. He has a cannon of an arm. He's got everything you want. But they keep getting better as the season goes on. So upset alert might be for Texas. Penn State also as well, but I just think SMU's just not there yet. The ACC championship game showed me that they're a little ways behind, and that's okay. Because the ACC is wide open. FSU is going to be bad for a bit. They're losing all kinds of recruits, right? And Notre Dame, Indiana, two teams that we don't really know. They haven't faced top quality teams, right? Notre Dame's undefeated. Their best win came against week 1 against Texas A&M. Indiana, they beat Michigan, but which that win looks better. But again, they got thumped a little bit by Ohio State, so we don't know really who they are. We've yet to figure out both of these teams' identity outside of Notre Dame can run the crap out of football. So if you can stop Notre Dame's running attack, I think you can beat them. It's just can Kirk Cincinnati do that? Yet to be seen. And then the last thing I want to talk about here, and this was the course of all the drama. Alabama getting dropped out and SMU beating it. Listen, they said it before, they're not going to penalize teams for playing in their conference championship games. If they did, teams were going to stop playing in them, and that's not fair to anybody. If Alabama wanted to be in, they should not have got dumped by Oklahoma, 21-3 in Oklahoma. That bad. They should put up more points. If it was a close game, then Alabama's probably in. But it wasn't. And so you can't blame, them being upset, this strength of schedule. Yeah, you got thumped by Oklahoma, 21-3. You got beat by Vanderbilt. And then beating up 3/4 of the game against Tennessee, you lose in that fourth quarter. You should have lost the Georgia game because you only had one good quarter. Georgia outscored you 40-something to 15 the rest of the 3 quarters. But Carson Beck made a mistake at the end of the game and threw that game. So, if you really look at that, you play Mercer, USF, whoever they played in week 1. It's just their greatest wins are over LSU and South Carolina and Georgia. But, the Georgia and South Carolina wins don't look that good. It's only really LSU. There's someone else who they blew out. But I love this bracket. I'm going to have an episode probably Monday or Tuesday when I feel better. I'll dive more into this, right? I just don't feel that good. NFL review, we're not going to really do one. Not much is going on right now. NBA review, NBA Cup. Do this quick. The Hawks beat the Knicks last night. The Hawks are going on a run. The Hawks have been fantastic. Outside of the Nuggets loss, they're 7-1, and they look great. Dyson Daniels has been a great trade acquisition. Trae Young's finally found his backcourt mate. I love it. And then the Rockets beat the Warriors last night. They're going to meet up in Vegas, the Hawks and Rockets. And a controversial win. Jump ball foul, or there's a loose ball, and they call a foul for diving in. It was a stupid foul, but the Warriors had no fouls to give. So what the Rockets do is they just shoot 2 free throws with 3.5 seconds left in the game, take the win, and Steve Kerr's upset. But the Warriors, they play great defense. It's just scoring. They need a second scorer. If that's Kuminga, he's got to show it now, or he's going to get traded. It's that simple. Because the Warriors are wanting to pull that trigger because they know they're that close. If Kuminga has to get shipped to get a guy to win now, they will do it. And they won't hesitate. They won't. Because they have Podjeski, and they're going to keep him. Kuminga is expendable to them for whatever reason, but they can get a star to win now, and you got to give up Kuminga and Moses Moody. They're taking them. In the first, okay. Who that is, I don't know. LeBron, Jimmy Butler, have been the names that swirl around. I don't think so. But I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. As January hits, you'll see the names. Lauri Markkanen maybe, but then those names will pop up more. But that's it for today's episode. I'll have my mock draft here at the end, just because I'll release it. But thank you for watching. Next episode will be better because I won't be dying. I'm getting donkey kicked in the face. But yeah, school's just finished, so more episodes, and there's a big project that me and someone else are working on. So stay tuned to see that.